Do you want to say anything before we get into this, or what?
Yeah, yeah. Have you heard about that sister that got locked up for yelling back at that uh, uh, Dubai guy in Dubai? You heard about
No,
that?
no, no. What happened?
Yeah, a sister got into it because it was a car accident, and both of them got out, and he started yelling at her, and then she started yelling back, and then when she went to go take back the car or whatever, they locked her up for that. And the lawyer is saying, he was a brother. He was saying that it's not fair that she got locked up, but when you in their house, you gotta abide by their rules. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, I mean that attitude doesn't translate well to different cultures. See, these other
yeah,
cultures around the world, they're not playing that. See, that's what unfortunately a lot of these women have been misled to think that their behavior is normal and that it's acceptable, and it's actually not. This is a kind of a weird um, exception in deviation from history, because there's never been a point in history where women was this disrespectful and out of order. And that, unfortunately, a lot of them don't understand that. And then when they go to these other cultures, they think that, simply because they can get away with that in America, then it's going to be received overseas. And unfortunately, a lot of them, they get that rude awakening.
yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, so that's a whole nother thing. you it's unfortunate, but hey, that's what happens when someone doesn't have discipline. And when we say the things that we say, a lot of times they interpret it as we're just, putting people down and all of that. But a lot of times it's for their own good. It's just like if you have a disciplinarian who's trying to teach you right from wrong, it's not just to restrict the person, is to try to help them so that they can function. Because
yeah,
if you have good home skills or good home training, that translates no matter what culture you're in. I've been in all kinds of cultures. In every culture, I've gotten respect because I know how to show respect. I know how to observe people's laws. I know how to be polite. And so these skills are universal. I don't care what language you're speaking, what culture you're in, it's universally understood. And that's why, for the most part, as men, particularly us as black men, we're pretty much accepted everywhere. I'm not saying you won't have no knuckleheads that won't get into it here and there, but we're not known internationally for having any type of necessarily bad attitudes where we'll
yeah,
get in situations like that. So, but anyway, I guess that leads us to, and that's a good segue into what the topic is, which is, why are the passport bros really leaving the US? And I think that there has been a lot of speculation, but we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts today. I'm not playing around because I'm tired of people misrepresenting what's actually going on. They're trying to pigeonhole the argument. They keep trying to minimize people's decisions, or making rational decisions for the betterment of their life. And it's just becoming very trivialized. And you don't have much to expect from a group of people who they were dealing with, as far as with all the propaganda and lies and misrepresentations and deflections that they do. It's no surprise that they would do that when it comes to this particular situation as well.
yeah,
But today, I'm going to dispel a lot of this fraud that's going on. And I'm in a unique position to do this because I haven't been very, you know, how can I put it? I've been very modest about my actual experience. I haven't been pulling rank as far as my endeavors and a lot of things I've been able to do and achieve, and the fact that I'm not even in the realm of what would be considered a passport bro. That's the reason why I don't call myself that. It is not to be
yeah,
disrespectful to the passport bros. It's just that I've been doing it so long, and before there was a such thing as that, it's just not a proper definition of what I am. And I'm going to clarify some points of reference, because I think that somehow the whole thing has been conflated, and they think that everybody who's traveling that happens to be a black man is kind of all in the same boat. They're all traveling just for women. They're all traveling because we're all dusty. We can't get no women. We're lame. We're living in our mom's basement. We're all of the above. But here's the thing though. There are a wide range of reasons why men travel, specifically men who have decided to leave. And I don't consider men who have actually left for good, who have moved out of the country, to be what I would consider to be a quote passport bro. I think a passport bro is anyone from the tourist guy who's just going to different countries just to deal with women, and that's okay. And let's put that on the table right up front. If a guy is deciding that he's going to go and travel to meet exotic women or have a good time, hey, that's his prerogative. Who's gonna who is anybody to judge him for that, right?
Right.
And it's very weird how they try to frame it like somehow, oh, these guys are going over there just to be tricking. Which, okay, let's say there are guys who are doing that. Are you trying to tell me they can't be tricking in America?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so evidently, so I guess it's okay if they just stay in America and trick, but if they decide to trick overseas, then it's an issue. But typically, if a guy is going to do that, there's obviously something more than just that. All things being equal, if a person, and I'm not going to, I'm not professing myself to be an expert on tricking, but I would imagine that if a guy is just simply trying to get his rocks off by tricking, then that's a large commitment. That's a very big commitment to hop on a plane and go thousands of miles when you could literally just go to your corner or wherever and you can get, for little or nothing. There's plenty of 304s all over America.
Oh yeah.
So evidently there's something more to it than just that. But that's what they kind of want to overlook. There's actually an experience that guys are doing when they travel. And like I said, when it comes to the quote passport bros, there's a wide range. There are those guys who are just simply doing it for tourism, in terms of just to meet women. There are guys who really authentically like other cultures and they want to go and experience a whole nother thing. They may just work a very stressful job. They may live in a very cold climate like I did. I'm from the Midwest. As you know, you're from the Midwest as well. Gets very cold. So a lot of times when I would travel, I would like to go somewhere exotic. Instead of being in snow, I want to be on a beach somewhere. So it's a whole host of things. You might like a particular culture's food and all of that, right? So the
Right.
passport is a very wide and broad range, right? So they always try to just pigeonhole it to them just looking for women. And again, there is that sector of men, and that's all they're looking for. And I say, who cares? If that's their desire, then so what? But
Yeah.
you should not limit the argument to that. Um, and when it comes to someone like me who's made the decision a long time ago that I wanted to move outside of the United States, not just because I wanted to be with beautiful and exotic women, although I'm not going to lie and say that that wasn't a part of it. The the main part for me was quality of life. And I'm going to get into some data when it comes to that. You know, I'm going to let you chime in on what you feel about it, but I'm leading into the bigger picture in terms of making the distinction between what would be considered a quote passport bro and those of us who are literally traveling for a better life or moving, not just because we again want to be around just the women, but we want to be in a different culture. We want to have a different experience. We want to have a different life. We want to get more, um, especially if we've been successful, we did all the right things, and then we are not getting the quality of life that we feel that we deserve, and then we've found a place on this earth that we happen to have found that it just so happens to be outside of America, and then we decided to move to that. That to me is what men have done since the dawn of time. And who who is it anybody to try to kind of dismiss that or try to downplay it? No one has a right to do that because it's everybody's right to move to greener pastures. You wouldn't even have countries such as the United States if it wasn't for people who decided to migrate from one place to another, right?
Right. 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 Mhm.
Yeah. So what's your take on it before I start getting into some data?
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to say, I don't consider myself a passport bro either because the main reason that I gather passport bros are leaving is because they want to
You're
find.
kind of fading out. I don't know if you're talking away from the mic, but you were kind of fading out. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. So whatever you were doing before, you were just fading out. So
Yeah.
if you say like that, then it's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was saying that passport bros they're leaving the Americas to find a wife. Okay. I'm not trying to, me per se. I'm not trying to find anybody. I'm just trying to move on to better opportunities, a better life. Now, if I find a wife, that's cool. But again, I'm not moving out of the country just to find a wife. Okay, it's just yeah, I'm just tired of America. I'm just tired. I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of all the effery. From all the black women that decides to participate in the effery. And I know I'm going to see it when I reach my destination or whenever I travel the world. But again, I'm not leaving to find a wife or anything like that. I'm just trying to improve my lifestyle and my betterment of my life. So but they really don't have any talking points other than us leaving to find a woman. That's all they hammer on is that because if they come to me and say, "Well, you just leaving because you just trying to find a wife," I'm like, "No, I'm not. Really, I'm not."
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
funny you use the word hammer because it's like the saying goes, if all you have in life is a hammer, then everything starts to look like a nail, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So that's all they have. They can only think within that carnal mindset, right? And one of
yeah,
the things that I don't like about that whole argument and the way they're framing it is that they're overvaluing themselves. And to
yes,
me,
yeah,
by definition, that's kind of like a simp position, right? If you're
yeah,
going to minimize this to say it's only because of the women, as opposed to women being maybe a factor in it, if you're just saying, "Oh, I'm just going to uproot myself and leave completely for a woman," to me, that's kind of simpish energy.